Welcome back to the program. The de facto leader of the Democratic Party these days is an Islamo-jihadist, Zoran Mamdani. There is a reason why I was so angry and pissed off that President Trump invited this terrorist to our White House. And now I'm going to break down all of his accomplices, all of his connections, all of the communists, all of the Islamists, and all of the terrorists that he is associated with. Listen to this. So he is associated with so many groups and has broken so many election laws already that I cannot understand for the life of me why Marco Rubio and Scott Bessent have not started denaturalization. He should not be in this country, number one, and he certainly should not be ready to take office in January. Democrat Zoran Mamdani's victory, and we can call it a victory only because of voter fraud, in the New York City mayoral race was driven by a coordinated South Asian political machine with extensive links to Pakistani Marxist organizations, Islamist-aligned extremist networks, and of course, the Chinese Communist Party funded activists as well. The central engine of this operation was an organization known as DRUM, D-R-U-M, like you would play the drums, okay? And its political arm, which also shares the same address, the same leadership, everything the same, is called Drum Beats, all right? Now, these two entities, like I said, they share the same address, the same leadership, the same personnel, all of it. They received $20,000 from Mamdani's campaign. I'll explain why this is a problem. Behind Drum's organizing stood a tightly woven network of activists tied to Pakistan's HKP party, which is a radical communist movement party founded by Cambridge-educated historian Amar Ali Jan and veteran leftist Farouk Tariq. The party is formally registered with Pakistan's Election Commission and seeks to unify workers, peasants, students, and ethnic minorities under a communist revolutionary program. HKP operates within the same global far-left ecosystem of the People's Forum, which is what? The CCP, right? Now, Han himself, the leader of this, is a council member of the Progressive International and participates in programs with the CCP and aligned groups and maintains visible ties to U.S. activist institutions in, you guessed it, Neville Singham's networks. Now, if you don't remember who that is, he was the one behind the funding of the Los Angeles riots. I covered him back then. This guy lives in China. He is close to the CCP. He's close to Xi Jinping and all the people at the top of the CCP. He is extremely close to members of the PLA, the People's Liberation Army in China as well. And this is the new international George Soros, okay? This guy needs to go down. And I hope Bessent and I hope Marco Rubio and the rest of them are investigating him. They should be, because they did say that they were looking into the people that were behind the LA riots. But again, that was quite a long time ago. HKP's leadership worked directly with U.S.-based activists involved in Mamdani's campaign. In January 2023, Amar Ali Jan announced plans to build a, quote, solidarity network for Pakistani communist activists in the United States and identified 3 drum organizers, Raza Jalani, Mohiba Ahmed, and Zahid Ali, as key members. All 3 played active roles in Drum's pro-Mamdani efforts. Jalani, a Pakistani journalist and HKP co-founder, joined Drum as a communication specialist and led campaign rallies with Mamdani's people and him as well. Mohiba Ahmed, an NYU graduate, once again, we're allowing these foreign bastards into our colleges through whatever stupid program, and they're coming in, they're getting educated here, and they hate the country. When the fuck are we ever going to learn? Huh? When are we going to learn that we are financing and educating the people that want us fucking dead? I don't get it. He worked full-time on the primary before returning back to Pakistan to speak at HKP rallies. So you actually have someone from a foreign communist Islamist party in another country, flies in, goes to our school, works on his campaign, and then funds it and helps get the vote out and goes back to the other country. How is that not illegal? It is illegal. It's an FEC, Federal Elections Commission, violation to accept funding from foreigners and from people in other countries. I cannot even tell you how many laws have been broken with his campaign. Where is everybody? Why am I the only one coming out talking about this stuff? Then it comes out and it says here, Zaid Ali, an HKP founding member and Rice University doctoral student, was praised by Jean as a struggling partner who helped secure Mamdanis' win. Drum Executive Director Fayed Ahmed publicly highlighted his meetings with Jean Galani and Ahmed, calling their exchanges encouraging and impressive. Drum's Director of Organizing, Kazi Fuzia, oversaw the ground mobilization across immigrant neighborhoods. A Bangladeshi immigrant who entered the United States undocumented and later received asylum through a State Department exchange program. Again, once again, we're allowing these scumbags into our country. They come here, they lie on their N-400 immigration forms. Are you escaping a totalitarian regime? Are you in danger? Yes, I am. Yeah, I need to come to America, wink, wink. And then these idiots just say, sure, approved, approved, approved. And now you have all these jihadists running around the country. So sick. It goes. Then it says here, Bangladeshi immigrant gets in the. Okay, Fawzi describes Drum's influence bluntly. Quote: "We're like a gang. When we go anywhere, to any shop, to any place, people move aside and say, 'Oh, look, the drum leaders are here.'" Her dual role raises legal questions as 501c3 nonprofits like Drum are barred from political campaigning. Nonetheless, yet she publicly identifies herself as Drum's organizing director while directing political mobilization for Zoran the Moron. These networks did not operate alone. Drum and Drum Beats co-hosted events with the People's Forum, again, a militant Marxist organization in New York with ties to the CCP as well, okay? And they received $20 million from none other than Neville Roy Singham. That's right. So, again, this Chinese, he's American, actually, but he lives in China, in Shanghai. He's close to the CCP, and he helped fund that campaign with $20 million. Unbelievable. Singham, an American businessman based in Shanghai, has attended CCP propaganda forums, met with senior CCP officials, including Xi Jinping, on numerous occasions, and finance institutions, including the People's Forum, which is a tri-continental institute, and the Dongsheng News that echoes pro-Beijing talking points. And, of course, they deny any of the CCP human rights abuses of the Uyghur Muslims, right? And promotes narratives aligned with China's geopolitical interests. The People's Forum glorifies the Chinese Revolution, offers CCP propaganda courses, and partners with pro-PRC groups. Remember, what's PRC? It doesn't say made in China anymore. It says made in the PRC, right? People's Republic of China. Thank you. While Dongsheng News, which shares the same address and produces weekly pro-Beijing propaganda messaging. The program of extremism at George Washington University identifies the People's Forum as part of the Singham-funded CCP network, engaged in pro-China and pro-Palestinian activists and influenced by the CCP. These ties triggered congressional scrutiny, with Senator Chuck Grassley and Marco Rubio and the House and Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith demanding investigations into whether the People's Forum and its affiliates acted as unregistered foreign agents in violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, also known as FARA. Another key component of Mamdanis' support and the structure was the Answer Coalition. Oh boy, these are a bunch of commies too. Run by activists from the World Workers Unite Party, a hand-picked, hardline Marxist-Leninist group the FBI once described as dedicated to world revolution for communism. WWP has defended North Korea's Kim regime. You heard that correctly. So he's getting funded and has support from an organization, the Workers' World Party, that defended the communist dictatorship in North Korea. But yet these dumb, stupid white women, most of them single, right? And childless. No, they're the ones that went out and voted for this psychotic jihadist. Unreal. It's so sick. And then it says they also supported Saddam Hussein in Iraq, justified the CCP's Tiananmen Square crackdown, and opposed democratic movements in Hong Kong. Answer has been operated to such an extent that it seems fair to call it a WWP front group, with senior officials, including spokesperson Brian Becker, belonging to both organizations. Shut It Down for Palestine, the national protest network behind major pro-Hamas demonstrations, is dominated by WWP and Answer activists and functions as a de facto WWP extension. The network Contagion Institute, listen to this, reports that Shut It Down for Palestine has received significant support from the CCP aligned donors, amplifying their narratives that weaken U.S. influence and bolster Beijing's portrayal of itself as an anti-imperialist power, which is about the biggest joke you could ever imagine. Answer also works closely with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, also tied to Neville Singham, a Marxist-Leninist organization that claims the United States is a, quote, dictatorship of the capitalist class that can only be dismantled through socialist revolution. PSL defends the Chinese Communist Party's human rights abuse records, denies the Tiananmen Square massacre ever happened, supports Beijing's repression of Hong Kong, and endorsed Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea. Although it did not formally endorse Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, PSL blamed the war, of course, on NATO and the United States. The House Committee on Oversight is investigating Singham's financial support for the PSL and the group's role in the violent disturbances, including the Los Angeles riots. So imagine that. He's basically every single jihadist, communist, Islamist is all tied to the Mamdani campaign and to Zohran himself. And he just sits there in his little smile. I'm just a normal guy. Yeah, I'm not going to hurt you. He's a serpent. He's the devil. He is the devil. He is an Islamic jihadist that has now taken over the financial epicenter of the United States of America. That's right. We have an infiltrator. We have a cancer. Okay? We have a cancer. And we better hope that we cut out this cancer and not allow it to metastasize throughout New York City and other cities around the country. And this goes to also why I keep saying that the DSA must be designated as a terrorist organization. And there's so many more than the DSA. There's the Communist Party USA. There's all these other groups out there. We've got a lot of work to do in the next 3 years. Okay? It's going to be brutal. It's going to be bloody. but it has to be. We have got to get rid of these foreigners in our country. Call me xenophobe, call me, Islamophobe. I don't give a shit what you call me, okay? Call me an American. Call me someone that wants to put America first. Call me someone that wants to prop up President Trump and the MAGA agenda. And we cannot have freedom, liberty, prosperity, and the golden age with these throat slitters and dirty nightshirts running around screaming Allah Akbar everywhere. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.